Hey you guys, good morning, healthy people. Happy Tuesday, December 28th, 2021. We are preparing to start back journaling daily, and so I wanted to walk you through the journal process. I just completed making a video, but it was 16 minutes, so I want to see if I can make a shorter video by focusing myself. Okay, so this is the journal that I created to help me. It's so funny when I try to be focused, I start talking all weird. But anyways, that I created to help myself create and maintain healthier habits. Started habits and lifestyles in about 2015. We're going into 2022. Habits and lifestyles have served me so well over the years, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You can even look at my videos and just see how I've transformed. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, everything. So I've used this book. I tried to find a new one, but I wasn't able to. So one of the things that it's a journal. It's 60 days, which is roughly 2 months. And you'll buy it on Amazon. You can buy it in the beginning. There's testimonials. So for the first 2 weeks, as I do with my clients, you really, really want to focus on your why and why are you doing this? Because a lot of times people just jump into new year, new me, and they don't necessarily know their why behind it. For me, it saved my life. I was on the verge of not wanting to live anymore, which I kind of can see that as a thing that I might always deal with in my life, like when things really hit hard. And so you guys all know I told you life happens again. It's not what you probably think. Some of you know that I had to call off an engagement. It wasn't that. That sucked, but it wasn't that, right? Like, yeah, that sucked, but life goes on. It was some other stuff. And so with that being said, I just was done. I was upset, I was angry, all my other triggers that I thought I had gotten over popped back up. But and I was okay with that. Like, I was okay with being in that deep dark place. Like, I was just like, you know what, God, I'm done. Like, I'm not playing with you no more. You play too much. But ultimately, I'm still here. So I had to figure out what you're gonna do, girl. You're gonna either do what you know that works and surrender and just keep being healthy as you continue to go through your journey, or you are going to continue to sit here and be miserable and beat yourself up for something that you cannot change. The beauty of having faith is knowing that God truly does have plans for you, even when you don't understand. And also that like he has control over your future. You can't change your past, but he has control over your future. So you could be like, okay, messed up, didn't know that this is what I should have been doing, didn't know this is how I should have been moving. How can I move forward? Moving forward, how can that happen? How can I do it differently? And so, long story short, so this is where we're at. This is why I decided to come back and get back on my habits and lifestyles train, because like I said, it helps hold me accountable, and I hope that it helps some of you all. December 31st, because we don't want to wait until the new year to become new us. I have already started the process for the last couple of days as far as waking up, praying, working out. I haven't been journaling, but working out. So we are going to start on the 31st of December with the lifestyle area relationships. Habits and Lifestyles focuses on 7 lifestyle areas to have a holistic life, which is faith, physical, nutrition, finances, relationships, travel, and pleasure. Those are the 7 lifestyle areas. And I dibble and dabble in all of them, and I try to be my best in all of them so that I can be pretty much happy. And I was happy. Even after the broken engagement, I was still very happy because I was already really full and complete. But again, sometimes life just happens and it just kind of throws you off course. But we got to keep going if we're here. You do it through the tears. You do. You do it through the doubt, you do it through the uncertainty, you do it through the anger, you keep going. And so this is where we're at. So I just wanted to share with you guys the book. Again, you can purchase it on Amazon. I'll put the link in there, right? And so, like I mentioned, for the first, it has information about my story, my childhood, and the things that I've overcame. And you're gonna start with, what is your why? So like, why are you doing this? Again, for me, it was to save my life. That's it, right? That's how it started, and that's how it started, and it did. It helped keep me balanced. It helped me stay balanced. It helped me move towards goals slowly, at a slow pace, not fast, not a quick fix, but at a slow pace, which ultimately it taught me a lot of delayed gratification, which I think was so beneficial, which has helped me save a lot of money, which has allowed me more patience in my life. I don't know, I'm just kind of like in a little grateful space right now because I can see the growth, and that's what matters. So then I have these pages in here that sometimes it's on page 9 that people get stuck on, and it's like, where do you see yourself this year? And it's broken down very, very like month 1, 2, 3, 4, and how are you going to get there? Like, what's actionable steps are you actually going to take to make that happen? If you don't have if you don't see yourself beyond today, beyond the end of this week, please don't fill this out. It's just to get you thinking. Honestly, I have slayed so many of my goals that I have to like kind of change the way my goals are set up, because so many, there's still more. I don't even know how to say that, but like I've accomplished so many goals. So for me, it's not that like, oh, next year I have to, this year, because I'm in a good spot. So I don't necessarily need that anymore. But there are other things that I want to do, like go out of the country. I want to go out of the country. I've never been out of the country. I know it's crazy, right? That falls under the travel lifestyle. So I can put that on there and put the steps that I need to take. Get my passport. Why haven't I gotten my passport? Because I don't like paperwork. I know a person that's always in school doesn't like paperwork, but that's just where I'm at. I'm really gonna, somebody out there, y'all want to help me with that? Because I'm like dragging my feet on that process. It's shame on me. And then here's another one. Another page is like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? So this one can be larger, and again, it can change, or it might not even exist right now. We're taking things day by day, right? But if you want to, and if you have the answers to this, or if you think you know where you want to be, because life can change at any moment, then write that on there. Okay? If not, don't worry about it. Again, more questions to just have you dig deeper, like an example of who's going to support you on your journey. So sometimes we have friends that support us, our spouses support us, our kids support us. A lot of times when I make big choices, I talk to my kids about it because they are special people to me in my life. That's the next page. And then from there, as we all know, the first step to anything is being aware. Like, you need to be aware of where you're currently at. You need to be aware of why you're doing what you're doing. You need to be aware of who you are, most importantly, which can change and fluctuate, but you need to be aware of these things. And if you know you're the kind of person that is more free, and you're like, this is too rigid, then this just isn't for you, and that's completely fine. And that's fine too, right? I am a rigid person, and so it works for me. It helps keep me sane. It helps keep my anxiety down. It helps keep depression down. So for me, it works. And not all of my life has to be like that. I think I've said this a million times. I'm a super lazy person, y'all. So I like to knock stuff out in the day and do nothing at night. Super lazy, but I know things have to get done. And part of me getting things done is so that I can have more freedom in my real life. I know it sounds so crazy, but it's just like, okay, if I do this, then I can do this. If I do this, then this gives me freedom here. And it does. It has worked that way for me. All right. And then over here in week 3, you would decide, well, what healthier habit should I incorporate into my life? And I say do one at a time, because it just makes it easier for you. It makes it more sustainable. It makes it more doable. It takes off the pressure of having to say, oh, I have 4 things that I need to accomplish today. No, just do 1 or 2. As I've mentioned in the past, I started out with 2, which was faith. I started out praying in the evening. I realized that did not work, so I changed it and I started praying in the morning. That worked well, but I felt like I needed to move. I needed to be physically active to have those great, nice endorphins released into my brain, get my heart rate up, get my body moving. And so those were the 2 that I started off with years ago when I started Habits and Lifestyles. And I did those 2 only for about 2.5 to 3 years. And then I started focusing on nutrition. And so like now there's like so many things that we just don't eat, we don't want to eat, or we alter the way that we eat it in our house. But it took 3 years for me to even add nutrition, focusing on my nutritional health. It took 3 years. And so that was probably, I guess we're at the halfway point. So that was probably 3.5 years ago. So it took us 3.5 years to get to a point where we're like, we don't eat that. We want this. We want that, you know? So it's just been a process, because again, it's lifestyle changes. Okay. So then once you get there, on page 16, you finally get into the part from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., there's a journal, or I'm sorry, schedule. You can write down some things that you have to do, like your to-do list. If you need to pick up groceries, you can write your grocery list in here. I know everyone has their phones and that's fine, but I still like to write things with pen and paper. And then over here, you have just enough journal space to journal for 3 minutes a day. Anything more than that, that's completely fine. But remember, one of the things that I strive to do is make things sustainable. And so the smaller, like micro habits, the smaller the habit, the smaller the gesture, the smaller the thing you need to do, the more likely you're going to do it, right? So it's a smaller journal space. I have a ton of journals. I have some with blank papers. I have some with blank line papers to where I can journal to my heart's content. But the one thing I know is that I can dedicate 3 minutes of my life daily. The journaling portion of this is supposed to be the trigger in your head to say, I have something that I need to do when I'm finished. So the way that it works for me is I wake up, I journal with you guys, and then I pray, and then I go to the gym. So the journaling for me is the cue that I need to know that I have 2 other healthier habits that I need to do. And then so down here is pretty dope because, well, the first page is a pre-written question for you, but the ones after that, it's not. And we are going to start with the lifestyle of your relationship. So I have questions for us already. But this is pretty neat because I looked back on it and I have the date in here. And this is when I said I wanted to run a mile a day, which was one of the best things I did for myself. And I did it. And then it's a question, did you do it? Why? Yes and no. I circled yes. I put that I ran the hill on 19th Avenue. And since it was an incline, on a scale of 1 to 10, what effort did I put into my habit? Because sometimes we can simply go through the motions, right? We want to make sure that when we are doing these things for ourselves, that we are doing everything that we need to do to give it our all. We might start off on a 3, but we want to start trying to inch our way up to a 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Or some days it's just going to be a 3 because that's where we're at, but we want to try to have most days in a 5 or up. So I gave myself an 8. Now this repeats, this same format repeats for 7 days. And then at the end of the 7th day, you have this nice little mandala that you can use to color. You can color it throughout the week, or you can color it all at the end of the 7th day. It's up to you. And on this page right here, on the end of that 7th day, you have a self accountability. So again, I created this book for people who didn't have people in their lives to hold them accountable. As we get older, you can't really just be in your friends' faces like that for the most part. You have your own life, you have your own family, you have responsibilities. So this is why I created this book. You can hold yourself accountable, but we have the group. We're going to help each other. So right here it says, habit number 1, was it too easy or was it too hard? That I can go into my theorists, my early childhood theorists, but like zone of proximal development is that. So when you teach kids, you want to have them at a point to where it's just right above their level of comfort so that you can push them, but you don't want it to be too hard to where they're discouraged. Same thing for you, okay? And then down here, you have 6 things, because you know habits and lifestyles has 6 steps. The last step is, what will I do before I give up? You know, what will you do? So again, my examples for that run is I ran a mile. I committed to a mile every day. Okay, some days I did 3 because I was still trying to train for my 5K, and I was still trying to grow as a runner. But I knew I could do at least 1 mile a day. That's around, at the worst case scenario, is 12 minutes. Best case scenario is 10 something. So one of the things that I could do before I give up and say this is too hard, I could slow my pace and I can make that a 15-minute mile. I can make sure that I get enough sleep the night before. I can make sure I drink enough water the day before. I can make sure that I stretch the night before. I can make sure that I eat a nutrient-rich meal the night before. I can, okay, so I can do all of those things. That's pretty much it. When I watch videos on runners, I be feeling like, I got this, I got this, I got this. So I could even do things like that just to play mind games with myself. That's the journal in a nutshell. That's why I love it. That's why I use it, especially whenever I'm starting a new healthier habit. So I did it when I started running. I did it when I started strength training. I don't think I did it when I started eating better. I might have. And just really quickly, I'm trying not to make this video too long. When you are eating, the goal is to increase the healthier. So you don't have to give up the stuff you don't like. You just want to add healthier stuff on your plate. And over time, your palate will change. All right. Wishing you guys healthier, happier habits. I am off to the gym. Talk to you soon.